What's up, losers?
Welcome to Drink the Kool-Aid!
Alright, on our episode 4 today, we are going to discuss our worst jobs. Our 2 worst jobs?
We can do 2.
Let's do 2. So our 2 worst jobs, you go first, is your idea.
Hold on. Jobs I've been fired from, or jobs that I voluntarily just left because they were horrible?
All-time worst jobs.
One of each. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start off with number 1, but there was an upside. Walmart. I met my wife there, and that was the upside. So,
if you say so.
Well, okay, so seriously, I'm not even joking. The first thing I said to my wife when I met her was I was looking at her, I was pushing carts for the job. Sucks. Suck job, dude. So, I saw my wife and I was like, whoa, she's cute. She wasn't my wife when I first saw her, that came later. Sounds like I'm saying I saw my wife. So, anyway, I saw her and I was like, her butt is awesome and big. So I was I just walked up to her. She worked at the customer service counter. And I walked behind her, the customer service counter. And I stood next to her and waited for her to be done with a customer. I probably looked super creepy.
That's his first worst job.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, what's up? And she was like, hi. She was kind of freaked out that I was just standing there. And then I was like, hey, if I'm currently aroused and I need a place to hide, can I stand back here? And she was like, I guess. And she walked away. It was an awesome first impression. It was awesome. But yeah, man, those managers, dude, they're no joke. I made 12 cents an hour, and the managers were always just getting on me for the dumbest stuff, man.
I worked at a Fred Meyer's for a little bit, so I understand. I was a night stalker at Fred Meyer's. Yes, a night stalker.
I walked off the job at Fred Meyer. I worked there for about a week.
I quit Fred Meyer's about 3 seconds before they were going to fire me. So.
Oh yeah, no, I was there for about a week as a cashier, and I remember this lady was just she was just berating me because we didn't have her root beer or something. And I was like, okay. And she was like, it's not in the aisle. So I was like, well, sorry. And she was like, is that what you say when I can't find something? Is sorry? And I was like, I'm not, no. And then I just walked away.
Thanks, Karen. See ya.
Yeah, bye, Felicia. I left. I just left. It wasn't even one of the worst jobs. I just was that's enough of that. Experiment failed.
Oh man. 2 worst jobs. There's so many. In case you haven't noticed, I'm wearing my flashing day drinking glasses. So for those of you watching, for those of you listening, I'm wearing flashing shamrock glasses because I've been day drinking a bit. But my first worst job, in no particular order, I worked at a Godfather's Pizza. It was by far one of the worst jobs I've ever worked. It was just disgusting. The people I worked with, some were cool, some were disgusting. Let's just put it this way. One time I caught the manager doing one of the delivery guys in the back room.
Was the manager a guy or a girl?
It was a girl.
Did you watch?
Well, I obviously had to for a brief moment. But that was pretty whacked. Just all of the proclivities of youth culminating in a food service job with very little supervision. It was waiting on crack. It was
waiting on crack.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was beer available too, which compounded all the issues of the intemperate youth, and it just. I mean, dealing with the people at that job was the worst part of it too. Not that's just the coworkers. We're talking about people go into a place like that and do not treat, not that you really deserve any respect, but like they don't treat the people that serve their food or wait their tables or bus their tables with any respect. The worst was on Sundays. Place would be packed out, dude. Church would bust out at like noon, and like place was just to the gills with do-gooders that were really, really awful to me and the people that I worked with, and didn't tip at all. Not to saying I deserved any of that. I'm going to take some of the blame. I'm taking some of the responsibility. And it was just a wild and wacky for like pizza job at a Godfather. It's to the point now me and my wife found a Godfather's Pizza in Oregon, and we went, and I couldn't even eat it, dude. Like,
how do they treat the food like behind the scenes?
That was actually like, for that there was a bit of professionalism in regards to that. We didn't like tamper with food or do anything like that. Allegedly. But it was just a wild and wacky job that I can't even just... It's hard to sum up into words, man. It's just so nefarious, and you get it. You probably worked food service before, ever?
Dude, it's not even in the top of the worst, but like Subway right before that Jared Fogle.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, man, but... You know that commercial? I think it's for Jimmy John's, maybe. They talk about how Subway gets their meat pre-cut.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, totally true. And, like, also I got in trouble because I kept giggling. They have this metal cabinet that you put the bread in overnight, and it's just, like, dough. It's not even real bread. Like, whatever, sue me, I don't care. But, like, it's not even real bread. It's so bad. But the metal case was called the retarder. So
yeah.
Like, when they told me that, I was like, oh, man, like, maybe I got put in the retarder, And then I kept giggling every time. I always had a retarder joke. So.
I had a boss that would, like, when he would say words like ridiculous, would really emphasize the dick, like, unintentionally, like, ridiculous. And I'd do the same thing where I would just chuckle a little bit every time he said it.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, he always used to be like the pompous dude. He's like, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Really just chomped into those,
just driving in
those
there.
consonants.
Driving in the dick, dude.
Yeah, just elbow drop, like the elbow just grinding it in there, like a mortar and pedestal of like dick jokes, just grinding it up, dude. Gritting the teeth.
Yeah, I do that every day.
All right, so second worst job.
I'm sorry to do this, but a place called Keller Supply.
Yuck City.
So they hired me as a driver, and like honestly, I love driving jobs because it's like I don't do well with authority, believe it or not. And
I've got that.
So it's good for me to have a little bit of freedom throughout the day to like get away and be like, all right, let's decompress.
Just let Rob do Rob.
Let Rob do Rob.
Maybe pump out a number 3 when he goes to the restroom.
All the time. I don't get in trouble for number 3 or number 2 or number 1 jokes. Yeah, like I can just make them to myself and laugh, and then develop weird personalities with myself so I can hold a conversation.
That's fair.
Yeah. So this job delivered showers, curtains, bathtub. You get it.
Did you deliver like showers? Like
I don't know
that. Take a shower and you'd go to their place and like.
I don't know that I ever successfully delivered one thing when I worked there, man. Like, I would just, like, get to a general area and just be like, this stuff goes here. Get off the truck. So, I had to get a DOT card, all right? And that was annoying, all right? Like, physical, like, the whole 9 yards, And then they're, like, super testing my urine, which is just awesome, And then they put me in this giant flatbed. And then they say, go deliver this stuff. It's on this and this cross street. And I'm like, well, can I have an address, right? And they're like, no, there's no address because it's new construction. So it's like sometimes it's on a street out in the middle of nowhere, and the street just got named. And it's got a temporary name sometimes.
I work construction. I understand how that goes.
So I was like, I could never find anything, and I would call, and I'd be like, I need help. I need somebody to come out here and show me where this is, dude. I've been driving around for hours. One day I was there for like 15 hours trying to find my last stop. And I finally found it. Turns out the place did have an address, and nobody gave me the right address. So it was the salesmen were super lazy. I'm driving around in this like 1 million foot long truck, and I'm like having to back out of driveways and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kill somebody or something. I've never been more afraid of causing another person harm in my life. I was so afraid. Like, every second was so anxiety inducing. Like, you have to watch the mirrors on this stupid truck to make sure the back end's not hitting something when you go around a corner. And of course, you know, like, I'm always missing things by like an inch in this stupid truck. And I don't know where I'm going. So
sounds like your sex life.
It was like a...
You miss it by an inch, you never know where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, but eventually with that, I can figure stuff out, you know? Like, I can go to the bathroom and take care of myself. Not with this job. Yeah. Not with this job. This job, it was just, like, aimless and, like, oh, man. Have you ever driven a big old truck? I'm sure you have, yeah. So these big old 26-foot long Penske trucks and whatever, like they rented a Penske truck and it's a flatbed and the ramp at the back doesn't work, so like I'm offloading stuff, like bags of concrete just by hand, and like it was horrible, man. Like, and they should have paid whoever they hired twice as much to make it worth their time. Then I would have stayed. But, well, no, I wouldn't have, because it was horrible and anxiety-inducing. So, I'm more of the guy that I'll pick a job over the enjoyability and, like, how cool my coworkers are and how cool the company is and how much I like their policies and the work environment over wages. So, shout out to Tech Equipment. Awesome company.
Well, my first, most definite, in a very particular order, worst job I've ever had.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a real doozy of a job. We'll kind of put a little bit of pretext in front of this to just really drive home the fact that this job sucked. Okay, so...
Were you a vacuum?
Yeah, no.
It sucked?
No. Get it? It licked a bag of suck, dude. Like a big old nasty bag of suck. I have worked a lot of jobs, dude, like a lot of crazy jobs. I've worked construction jobs, fishing jobs. I've been out on boats in an Arctic sea. I've been at the top of the world, doing like oil field crap. I have worked at a cannery. I have done a lot of jobs, like crazy jobs, but this one, 10 times worse, is the worst job by far. So the pretext, I'll pretext this situation by telling you why I had to take this stupid job to begin with. So I moved down from Alaska. Me and my wife are driving down the Alcan through Canada, and we get a phone call. And the phone call basically says, the house that we had set up to rent was deemed unrentable.
What does that mean?
That means someone offered him more money and they just kicked us to the curb. So it was deemed unrentable. So we're in the middle of Canada with most of our belongings are on a pallet being boated down, and we've got our worldly possessions and our 2 dogs stuffed in a Subaru Forester. So we're coming down.
At least it was a nice car.
Yeah, but we're driving down and we discover that we have no place to live.
No, I got that.
So
I'm trying to look on the bright side, sorry.
We get to Portland and we stay at the Red Lion Hotel on Sandy, which is, if you know that area, that North Portland, Sandy, 82nd area, that's pretty bad. Long story short, a gentleman named Booger Roach tried to roll me in the parking lot the evening we got here. That was not great. And so we're living in a Red Lion, and we decided after that night, we're like, we gotta at least we had a little bit of dough, we had to class it up a little bit, so we went and stayed, no, it wasn't the Red Lion, it was the Econo Lodge on Sandy.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, we moved to the Red Lion by the airport, and I stayed there for, I think we were like 2 or 3 weeks as our savings dwindled. Then we tried to find a place. So we find a place. luckily when we came down, Carly had a job lined up, right? My wife, his name's Carlita, she had a job lined up. So she's working, and I'm staying at the hotel with the dogs and trying to find work or just do something, you know, because I was touring. Like I came and then I went on tour with this band I was playing in, and then, you know, I was kind of coming back and trying to like work everything out. So we find an apartment, but it's a really crappy apartment in Gresham, Oregon. It's literally Gresham, Oregon might not be the butthole of the world, but I bet you can see it from there.
It's at least on the Tane.
Yeah, it's no bueno. So it is this sub-level apartment. We're at the end of the plumbing line, so like sometimes our bathtub like spews the shit from all of the rest of the plumbing line. So we're just in dire straits, right? Next up, my wife is driving home from work and she gets T-boned by the Lloyd Center in an SUV.
No.
Yeah. So more savings gone because we have to get her a car, right? So we have to get a car, you know. Luckily, I'd shipped my car down, so my car was there by now. But means just we have to get her a car. Savings are dwindling. I just got.
You have a ton of experience.
I have a ton of construction experience. I've built stuff. I was a framer. So I look in a classified ad and I find a masonry job. There's a company called Oregon Chimney and they're hiring. And so I actually meet them at a job site, right? So I call the place, they tell me to meet the head contractor at the job site. And so I do. And I showed up way overdressed, you know, because I like...
Yeah.
You know, I had just like a nice shirt, nice pants, had a tie on, you know. Had my stuff all did up. I see what the work is, and, you know, it seems like hard work, but I'm no stranger to hard work. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm telling you this could pay me. It's good pay. Worst mistake I ever made.
Yeah?
Hands down, worst mistake I ever made.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, I'm going to get into it.
Let's do it.
So, job seems really alluring because they offer this very large amount of money per hour, but what they don't tell you is you pay for your own gas and your own tools.
Oh.
Which eats a bite. And then not to mention you're working in the state of Oregon, which is also taking a very large chunk of your money every week. I think I was paying them like $500 a week.
I was going to say I average about $400 a paycheck.
It's ridiculous.
It's a lot.
So, I'm doing that, and I end up getting a truck just so I can haul tools and stuff like that. I very quickly, it should have been a warning sign. The first job I'm on, the foreman quits and one of the hod carriers gets fired. So all of a sudden I am thrust into being the foreman and lead mason 2 weeks in. Luckily I'm savvy and I'm quick and I got it all done. But this is merciless hard work. Merciless. We're hauling scaffolding. We have to put scaffolding up in like 10 minutes, like 5 levels of scaffolding. We're hauling 100-pound buckets up 40 feet ladders all day long. We're standing on inclines all day long, swinging hammers all day long. And if you don't know this about chimneys in this area, wasps, hornets, spiders, everything, love to live in those. So you knock a chimney down and you get a hornet's nest. I was getting stung by bees like every day, to the point now where I get stung by a bee or a hornet or something, it doesn't even faze me. I'm just like, I just flick it or pull a stinger out and I just go about my business because I've literally just been stung to the point of being callous about it. Back-breaking labor. I'm talking back-breaking labor. Luckily, after about 2 or 3 months of this, I was in the best shape of my life. Like I was buff, just monster, just like very little, and I started getting used to the labor. But it was weird hours because you're going to a different job site every day. Never knew where it was. You got off at like 5, so you were always inevitably stuck in traffic. And I wasn't looking forward to going home because I lived in, Gresham. I did not. It just I had to eat, and the eating of that job, that was another thing. You would think being able to eat anything you want at any time, as much as you like, would be awesome, right? But when you have to eat 6,500 calories a day just to maintain like a healthy body weight and like muscle mass and stuff, it's a chore, man. It is like a chore to eat that much. My sandwich consisted of my lunches were like 4 sandwiches, and I had like a big thing of protein powder that I just like pound all day.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you couldn't drink. You had to drink so much water on the job. You couldn't drink just straight water because it would strip the minerals out of you and you'd get sick. So we had to we get stuff like V8 or like Powerade or something, dilute our water with it so that it's not just flushing you out all the time. It's like actually redepositing electrolytes and minerals so you don't pass out. I had a chimney fall on me once.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
there's this thing in Portland where they'll put a chimney, and the thing is the chimney comes out of your roof in these old houses, and it goes all the way down to the basement. It's literally in a chute through the house all the way down, and they'd have these things in there called widow makers, where they put a wood platform, and all of that would be sitting on a wood platform. So that wood platform gets out, and it all comes down, and it's 1,000 pounds of bricks, thousands of pounds of bricks falling from 40 feet. Not to mention just stuff falling off of the scaffolding. Standing on a 6-inch board 5 stories up all day long in a windstorm. Like walking across inclines. I could do we had to do 12 pitches, which is like super gothic A-frame style. And be tethered in, and it was always sketchy, and I fell off a roof once. I got my ladder blown over while I was working on a roof once.
Oh my god.
Luckily I was as tough as nails. So that's among a million other things. The contractor that worked for it was just a POS dude, just of the highest caliber, filthy human being. I'm not going to say his name on this because there was some legal stuff that went down. But I'm not gonna. He was just a horrible human being. If I ever see that dude again, I'm just gonna poop on him.
Don't put anything on the internet.
No, I'm not saying names. I'm just gonna throw poop at him.
Okay.
Literally, he's that kind of dude. I will pick up dog shit with my bare hand and I will throw it at him.
Okay, what does his name rhyme with?
No, we're not doing that either. Anyways, so it's just I got this slave driver of a boss that really has no caring if I live or die. And the hod carriers I keep getting hired are meth addicts. A lot of them were meth addicts, straight up.
What does a hod carrier do?
He mixes mud and carries it to the mason and just ferrets supplies back and forth so you don't have to stop building a chimney. The only way you can build a chimney fast is to never stop.
Okay.
You're just constantly, he's just bringing it and I'm just constantly laying it, moving up the scaffolding. And then
so it wasn't a particularly hard job as far as the type of work. It was
No, it was hard. It was merciless. It was merciless on your wrist. I had to climb up and down too because all the time, because the hod carriers that I had, one of them couldn't read. And they were showing up late and all the things that come with, working with drug addicts. I did have some good ones. No, don't mind. There was a few that were super good. I met some cool people on that job. I'm not going to say it was all bad, but it's just mostly bad.
There's always a bright side.
So all of that's bad, working all year round. Snow, everything, you're on a roof. The summer, merciless. One of the things that when you tear down a chimney too, is you tear it down from the top, right? You're at the top of the chimney, you tear it down below the roof line. And then you get it, as you go down, you actually have to send a man down that chute who stands on top of the chimney with a crowbar and knocks bricks off, and you punch a hole in the bottom and you scoop the bricks out and you just work your way down. But there's comes a point where you can't get out.
Oh.
You got a mask. We had a light system that we had rigged up that you could flash if there was trouble.
Okay.
You had a mask and a complete suit.
What were the kind of troubles you'd run into?
We're getting to that.
Okay. Sorry, I'll shut up.
You can't climb out. There's just no way. It's too tight. There's nowhere to do anything. You're still standing there with these. Some of these were small. I was never the guy that went down the chimney because I'm just a big guy. I was too big to do it. We always had a small guy on the crew that we'd send on the chimney, and normally it was our boss because he was definitely a little Napoleon dude who was maybe 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
But he was a small dude, so we'd send him down because he's the only one who could really fit. So we're doing this. We're not doing this clean out, and he's the one in the chute, and he's knocking bricks down. We're filling up a wheelbarrow, running them out. Blah blah blah. Just boom boom boom. We had a line of 3 dudes doing it, and his respirator clogged with all the soot.
No.
So we it's got to go. The chimney's got to go, and I'm the crew heavy, so I'm the big guy. So I grab this 12-pound sledgehammer, and we still got about 4 feet of like we're in the basement, right? So there's above the ceiling, there's still like 4 feet of chimney, and he's on top of it, suffocating.
Yeah, oh no.
So I take the 12-pound sledgehammer, swing it as hard as I can, and I completely blast through that chimney. Like just knock it all down, and it all just comes pouring down. And I'm under it. I broke a rib, a toe, and I cracked my skull that day. We all got kind of messed up because it fell on us. So that sucked. And then I could sit there and bitch about this job for 1,000 years, but bottom line is I was working one job. It was a rainy day, and I just finished up the job, and I was exhausted. We were working crazy hours. We were all super exhausted, and I fell off a roof, and I broke my leg and knee in a horrible way that required several surgeries, a year of like physical therapy, just a lot of crap, utter like existential terror when when you're construction, if you can't walk, you can't work. There's just no saving it. So I just existential terror. I was bedridden. Luckily, I took care of it. I had some money coming in. I had, workman's comp. I had a bunch of other stuff without getting into too many details. But managed to get my house, which we were sitting in today. In fact, today we are in my kitchen because I just wanted to mix it up. And I paid my truck off. Got out of a sketchy loan for the truck. So anyways, it ended up breaking my body. Like it broke me to the point of going from PQ in physical condition to not being able to walk.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been devastating, man.
It was. Killed my band, like, 'cause I play in bands and stuff. I couldn't do that for like a year. It was a super bad. So that was my worst job. A list of long, weird, crazy jobs. That was the worst one for me. So, all you folks out there listening in podcast/YouTube land, tell us what your worst job was.
Yeah.
Send a video, make a comment, check out our Patreon page, so we can give you guys more content with funner stuff. We really enjoy doing this. Right now, currently, just a little update. We spent the last couple hours actually working on a really kick-ass rap song.
Yeah.
That we're gonna do a video for, and
you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be really good. So, like, subscribe, all that garbage.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Should we tell them the truth that we're not in the regular spot today because that's in my garage and your mom's in there taking up the whole thing. So.
Oh, that's sneaky, dude.
My bad.
Oh, well, have fun with the herpes. Well, it's okay, losers. We'll see you later.
I just need to record you saying dude.
Dude.